subservience, and low maintenance. When you admit you are not a cultural fit, you are confessing to ideological treason against the company's current operating system. You are explicitly telling them you will not obey smoothly. They do not want your unique perspective, they want a frictionless unit of labor. Admitting a lack of fit simply accelerates your termination timeline. Number 6. Someone is doing something unethical, but I want to remain entirely anonymous. Anonymity is an operational myth. In a networked corporate environment, HR can identify the source of almost any complaint through context, access logs, interpersonal dynamics, and process of elimination. By demanding anonymity, you signal that you lack the leverage to defend yourself. You become the whistleblower. To the algorithm, the whistleblower is often a greater immediate threat to organizational stability than the unethical practice itself. The system will close ranks to protect the entity. Your identity will become an open secret among leadership, and you will be systematically managed out. Number 7. I am looking for internal mobility because I am getting bored in my role. Boredom implies a lack of engagement. A lack of engagement implies you are a flight risk. HR is not a career counseling service tasked with your self-actualization. If you tell them you are dissatisfied with your current role before you have leverage or a concrete offer from another internal department, you trigger a replacement protocol. They will not accelerate your promotion, they will accelerate your obsolescence. You have warned the system that your output is about to drop. They will begin sourcing your successor before you have secured your next move. Number 8. I have a successful side business, but it doesn't interfere with my work here. The system demands a monopoly on your economic anxiety. A side business proves you have a secondary income stream. It proves you have divided attention. Most importantly, it proves you are not entirely dependent on the corporation for your baseline survival. An employee without financial fear is difficult to manipulate. They cannot be easily coerced into unpaid overtime, weekend emails, or degrading tasks. HR sees your side business as a critical dilution of their control over your behavior. Keep your secondary leverage strictly invisible. Number 9. I have been loyal to this company for 10 years. I deserve this promotion. Tenure is an expense, not an asset. The system views long-term employees as bloated line items on the payroll. You cost more than a new hire, your annual raises have compounded, and your skills are likely anchored to legacy systems. When you demand a promotion based on loyalty, you expose your fundamental misunderstanding of the transaction. The system wants cheap energy, younger, less expensive workers who are eager to please and easily molded. Loyalty is not a currency the system recognizes or accepts. Performance, proximity to power, and leverage are the only valid currencies. Number 10. I am consulting with a lawyer just to understand my rights in this situation. This is the absolute point of no return. The exact second the word lawyer is spoken, you transition from an employee to an active, hostile legal adversary. HR will immediately cease all informal and candid communication. Everything you do, say, and produce will be documented meticulously to build a termination case for cause. The system will activate its legal defense protocols. You do not issue warnings in the corporate world. You only act. If you require legal counsel, secure it silently. Never announce your strategy to the opposing side before you strike. Conclusion and strategy. Stop waiting for the system to recognize your virtue. The system is entirely blind to virtue. It possesses no mechanism to measure fairness. It only processes leverage and liability. To navigate this structure successfully, you must operate with the exact same cold pragmatism as the entity that employs you. You must control your own narrative. Do not volunteer unnecessary data. Data is ammunition, and you do not hand ammunition to an entity whose primary function is to neutralize you if you become a threat. Document everything. Do not document to report it to HR. Document to possess an asymmetric advantage if the system turns against you. Establish a paper trail of your competencies, your directives, and your manager's decisions. Create financial leverage outside of your W-2 income. A biological asset with external options is a dangerous entity to a corporation because it cannot be ruled by the threat of destitution. Finally, view loyalty as an illusion, not a strategy. The corporation will sever your livelihood the exact moment the quarterly algorithmic projections dictate it is profitable to do so. They will execute the termination with sterile efficiency. You must be prepared to operate with the same detachment. Give them your labor in exchange for their capital. Give them absolutely nothing else. Maintain your silence. Maintain your leverage. Survive the algorithm. The lie you were told is this: human resources is a neutral mediator, an empathetic bridge designed to protect your interests, facilitate your growth, and foster a healthy workplace. The truth is this: human resources is the immune system of the corporate organism, designed solely to identify, isolate, and neutralize organizational risk. You are a biological asset, operating within a strict legal and financial framework. When you step into the HR office, you are not stepping into a sanctuary. You're stepping into a deposition. Do not attribute the actions of HR to the wickedness of individual representatives. It is not personal, it is algorithmic. The corporate system does not pursue morality, justice, fairness, or even truth. The system pursues one metric above all else: stability and predictability. Truth is often messy, disruptive, and legally actionable. It introduces friction. Silence and compliance are frictionless. Organizations do not reward truthfulness. They reward those who do not cause problems. The moment you articulate a grievance, a vulnerability, or an independent thought to HR, you cease to be a predictable producer. You become a variable. A variable threatens the baseline. You experience a specific institutional vertigo, a disorienting realization that the rules you were taught do not apply to the game being played. The corporate environment feels simultaneously sterile and predatory. To survive this ecosystem, you must master the art of omission. You must understand the exact mechanics of what is recorded, how it is categorized, and how it is ultimately deployed. Here are 10 things you must never tell human resources, and the unseen mechanisms behind why they will invariably work against you. Number 1. I am having a conflict with my manager. You believe you are reporting a bad leader and initiating a productive intervention. The system hears that you are insubordinate. Management is the structural spine of the organization. Removing or disciplining a manager is financially costly, operationally disruptive, and legally precarious. Removing a subordinate is standard operating procedure. When you report a conflict, HR does not investigate to uncover the truth. They investigate to assess the liability of the corporation. By complaining, you have self-identified as the friction point. The system will inherently protect its hierarchy to maintain stability. You will be quietly labeled as difficult to manage, and your trajectory will stall. Number 2. I remember when we tried this exact strategy 5 years ago and it failed. This statement triggers the memory threat. Corporations operate on collective amnesia. Leadership cycles demand the illusion of constant, unprecedented innovation. An experienced employee who remembers past failures is a direct threat to this operational narrative. Your institutional memory contradicts the mandated optimism of the current regime. By reminding HR or management of historical data, you are not perceived as helpful, you're perceived as subversive. The system prefers blind compliance over historical accuracy. You will be phased out and replaced by someone who lacks the context to question the directive. Number 3. I'm the only one who knows how to do this. The department relies on me. This is the competency trap. You assume demonstrating absolute indispensability guarantees raises and promotion. The mathematical reality is the opposite. If you are highly competent at a foundational task, moving you creates a critical operational vacuum. It is cheaper and safer for the system to leave you exactly where you are and hire a less competent external candidate for the leadership role above you. By telling HR you are irreplaceable in your current function, you have permanently cemented your feet to the floor. You are a load-bearing wall. Load-bearing walls do not move up. They remain in the dark until they crumble. Number 4. I'm feeling burned out and my mental health is suffering. The modern corporate narrative loudly encourages vulnerability and bringing your whole self to work. This is a trap. The moment you declare a mental health struggle, HR opens a risk file. You are no longer categorized as a high-potential asset. You are reclassified as a medical liability. The system demands predictable output. Burnout implies an impending drop in productivity, an upcoming leave of absence, or a potential short-term disability claim. They will offer you a corporate wellness pamphlet, but behind closed doors, succession planning for your role begins immediately. Never give the system medical ammunition to doubt your future output. Number 5. I don't think I am a good cultural fit for this new company direction. You must decode HR language. Concepts like cultural fit, alignment, and good energy have nothing to do with socialization. They are sanitized, legally defensible masks for obedience.